to get over towards B. A couple of first bloods into Spiral. You really tried to have Abe getting control of Sidewalk, getting towards those back pillars, but nobody was ever able to get rid of F. Towards the back turrets, and there were plenty of times where Notorious had options for those retakes, and I think that for Five Fears, you can go back to this one, you can see some good moments for the team, you can see some rough moments for the team, but for
we're
Protocol
getting back in
overall,
the challengers.
it's work to be done, and Notorious, their Search and Destroy continues to elevate, and that's one thing for, say, this region in general that is so good, has been their Search and Destroys. Even Orchid yesterday taking a round 11 versus LAG mates, it just continues to play the narrative that they are a step above in this game mode.
And I think a huge part of that is really when you consistently stay together and you know what you always want to do and you can read what your teammates are going to do almost before they do it, you have that intuition to be able to play off of each other and almost calm without having to calm, saying we already know how we want to play the situation because we've played it so many times throughout the year. And that really does go so far, and it's something that we haven't maybe seen from a lot of North American rosters, but is potentially paying off here deep into the year for some of our EU rosters that are continuing to look strong in the game mode, as you said. Take a look, though, at everything that did take place. A lot of first bloods that felt like they were going the way of Team Notorious, but also, quite a few plants that ended up going down here, too. Both teams looking pretty solid at times for the retakes, but Team Notorious a step above theirs.
I'm trying to find my stream.
I think it's just in general for everything. So many moments from every player on the team for Notorious to win their battles.
No, this is the wrong
Afro,
one.
couple clutch plays. Eric Boom, that triple kill out towards that A site to get that bomb planted as well.
Yeah, it was huge.
There we
good
go.
bait and switch from the team. Lots of good moments from the two of them, but as you're tied up going into the rest of the series, I mean, you can say
What's
the same
going
for
on?
both
Somebody,
sides. A really solid
whoever
hard
said
point coming
something in
up
the
from Five
chat.
Fears. Hixie has a fantastic map number 1. He has a great map 2 as well, but things just not looking so good for the Search and Destroys for the team. Team Notorious, they look fantastic for those second game modes, and going into this control, I think it's
So it's
anyone's game
1-1.
still.
Absolutely. Well, we'll have to see which way the control does, in fact, swing after the break. Don't go too far. We'll be back on the backside of the break.
Thanks for dropping a like. If you tried something, I can't see it. I had to eat something. Eggs for protein. It's actually better than the ones I made yesterday. Oh, my drink's right over here. Okay. There we go. What's going on, guys? Oh, what's going on? I appreciate everybody hopping in the stream. Go ahead and drop a like. Really appreciate everybody hopping in the stream. Sorry, I just eating. We're waiting on the Challengers tournament to get us back started up. So, but as you see on the bracket, Fears and Notorious are tied up 1-1. So, I think it's we're still at best of 5. So, it's a big map. This big control, and I think Fears got this though. Fear, they've been looking crazy. I think, are they the ones who knocked out Rocker yesterday? I believe they are. Oh, it says it right here in front of us. So, yeah, they knocked out Rocker up here in the top left hand side of the bracket. Yeah, so, and then knocked out Omit Brooklyn. Now they're Notorious. The Skyline was in their favor, but they ended up taking the Skyline, and then Notorious took the Search. The Search was more in their favor. I think I didn't really see the Search so much, so because I had to reset the stream. But I think that they could have went up 2-0. But they're icy and they're good at all modes. So.
Welcome back, everyone, to the AMD Overclock $10,000 tournament. We are currently in day number 2. We are in our winners final, and we are getting into map number 3 on the control. This one's all tied up one apiece here between EU and NA. Team Notorious able to grab that map number 2, and they look pretty solid while doing it.
It's been a good tournament, just in general. I think for both of these two teams, they're happy to be winning
Sorry,
their
guys, I'm trying
maps
to call
and their
these
modes
eggs.
that they intended to kind of bring into this series. And still a couple things to work on in the ones maps. that
Drop
they
a
did
like.
lose,
What's going on,
but,
guys? Go ahead.
it's practice
Drop a
on the
like,
day.
sub.
We've got still maps 3 and
I'll set
4
those
to
down
go
now.
into. And you guys at home better be thanking the Lucky Stars for AMD. And a big shout out to AMD as well for putting this one on.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
Shout out to Ronald. Shout out to
Go
AMD for putting
follow
on a
them
tournament
their
before
socials,
champs because we had no
Twitter,
COD content
AMD
since after
and
Major
AMD
4.
Gaming, and give love as well because they are cooking for champs.
Yes, they are. They're
And it's
cooking.
gonna look good.
It's going to be a great time. Absolute great time. But here we go with map number 3. No, we don't go with map number 3. Back to us, of course. So we are going to
Bro, I
wait
am
for that
not taking
restart.
this
But,
shirt right
yeah,
now.
just
I
kind
ain't
of
gonna lie to
talking about
you.
chance
Hey,
what we're going
guys.
to get, man. It's going to be great. I mean, it's so hard to see who's going to actually make it to that top 3, especially if Omen are also able to make a run. Then I guess that would probably also then make up, an extra slot, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
If they were to finish top 3 as well. So that also gives maybe a chance for a team to make some kind of a run through the lower bracket. And it's just the matches are going to be so hype. It's going to be such a great time. It's going to be in Kitchener. It's going to be incredible, man. I'm excited. I've never been to Kitchener, so we'll have to see what that's like, too.
I love Kitchener, and even at the odd, I mean, so many times going to see the Kitchener Rangers play for OHL, for all
There you
those Ontario fans out here who like hockey. It's always a good environment, great stadium too to see
Alright, here we go with a bit
the
of
champs
shirt.
at. I know they're going to put on a good show, and I'm excited to see what everything looks like because even for us here, might be in the studio, but they're keeping it under wraps. I haven't seen a thing
Yeah.
of what they are cooking up over there for champs. But for the competition and challengers, at least for what we get today, and yesterday, just a little brief. I'd say snippet of what they're going to offer at least going into these boot camps, and we get to see what they can work on. We get to see what they strive to work on as well throughout just these 2 days alone. But I think when we're just shaping things up for Notorious and Five Fears, what they have, there have been some major improvements, especially from this Five Fears team, who has been improving tournament to tournament.
All right, well, let's get right into it. Here on the attacking side, we are going to see Team Notorious, and, well, we'll see if they can try to pick up where they left off on the protocol, which was very convincing, but it's really just all red in the kill feed, which means that Five Fears have full control of the map, 4 down. Now you have to worry about Abe in this spot where he starts to go rogue.
Yo, what's up, Nico?
Timing, and the timing works perfectly. Only 2 lives lost for Five Fears off this break off, and that's scary off of Notorious, who want to start to win some of these respawns on the offensive side, which has been an issue for Protocol for many teams this weekend, not just these two. It is a struggle, at least, to get over towards these zones. Finally, for a second, it's a step on towards A, but they just haven't been able to do it as a full team. It's always so
What are you up
close
to,
just
man?
getting through.
Yeah, a lot of
Congratulations
wipes
on the
so
baby.
far, 16 lives remaining, and you only got 20 seconds left.
You're gonna
so
name him
it
after
needs to
me,
be a
right?
nice push, and you still got Hixie being a problem in the back. He's able to put together a couple
You gotta
more
name that
kills,
kid Cam.
and
He'll
now
be goated.
you are basically just sprinting to the zone, hoping to get a touch, almost just hoping for a miracle here through round number 1, and it's not feeling all that likely.
So we got
Fire
Fierce.
from
I mean, I'm
three
talking about
straight
Fierce
get
has
a
been on
couple more,
fire.
and, well, there's number
Literally,
4,
what,
and no
this
chance for a touch.
triple
Wow.
life
I mean, that's
advantage
as
right there
dominating as
almost?
Control gets for
21 to 9.
defense here on Protocol.
Just pick
And
them
they-
up, put them right in the blender.
Yeah,
First
Fierce
round.
about to blow him out.
That's one thing to say, too, for both of these teams. I mean, for map 1, it was a pretty handedly win for Five Fears.
If they win this offense, I have a feeling they're gonna blow them out in the HP too. They blew them out in the HP. Their respawn has been on point. It's crazy because Search win you tournaments, and their Search has been just good enough to win game 5s, but they literally, their respawn has been some of the best I've seen.
This map 3 with a clean slate so far.
Find out the gender in a month. That is crazy. I can't wait. You know, Cameron, you can name a boy or a girl Cameron, so remember that.
Map 3, round 1.
Cameron
So,
Diaz, this
we get to test
is
them on the
one of the most famous Camerons.
All right.
She's a female.
Something similar here for Team Notorious, busting right out of the mid door. Not going to win the opening engagements, but the secondary engagement's going fairly decent here.
I had like 30
Fires
viewers
good
there for a
range in the
second.
back. Fire's going to
Hey,
get up to
go way
5
more on
rows, but now
shorts.
working towards a streak is
I'm-
very potentially in the cards, as you might even get a double stack on the A zone.
goes from joining the agency.
I'm looking at something. Bear with me. I'm gonna
And Notorious do a good job at finding those kills back in. They don't even give up that first segment. F-Dot, he is deep.
Oh, he's lurking for some kills. Knife out for a second. Should be able to find an easy pick up there on the fire. No problem
gets
whatsoever.
one.
Good for the first, and
that's my brother,
a lot
guys.
to worry about here now.
Yeah,
If
my
you're
brother's
5 years,
F-Dot.
have to battle out of your spawn. Players that are respawning, of course, struggling. Hixie going to be cut down, and now
Do you
it's
find
F-Dot that's
out
now
what
working
gender
for
you
Street
are?
Team.
I know, Nico, because you're a female, bud.
Delaying a lot of time from this round, and he's even going to be able to retrack Exceed from that initial gunfight. Unfortunately, won't get to move it into that Hellstorm, but
So let's
he's done
see.
enough. It's
I
a
mean, Fierce, they're about even up on life. They don't have any
27
ticks, though.
seconds.
Okay.
It's another big double, though. Slowing them
Notorious
down. Still looking for that first
respond.
segment. You'd love to be able to get it here if you're 5 Fears, but Exceed bullied off the zone. And still, no segments secured.
Yeah,
All
they're
defense, we
about to
typically
start
see here on
overextending for B,
Protocol.
but they need to cut
Down
off the guys
low,
hitting their
Afro
spawn.
gonna get another read on Hixie. He was looking to come behind the
Yeah,
play.
stopping
maybe
this time is
upset
huge
something
here.
Middle. There's a quick touch on B. He's going to stop the clock. Fire's also got
Just
the cross
touch
down
it.
low, so they're going to give them a chance to maybe work towards a tick.
Yeah, short this way. Yeah, so much better. But in
What a
the
shot there.
like, I
That was
always
gonna
stream in
interrupt
shorts,
it to
but
get
this
that first
tournament,
segment. That's the difference
like I
between a
want people
solo
to see the
stack
kill
and a
feed.
double
But if I show them the
stack,
kill
it
feed, then they
allows
can't
the
see
rest
the
of Team
person on
Notorious
view. So
because
that's
of
why
it,
I've been
to
kind of
go back,
commentating.
leave
Like
that
Afro
B
just
zone,
picked
only
up
getting
2.
up to 1 tick of progression, and
Rafi gets
Rafi
those
here
3.
seems
That's
great
3
the rest of
down.
the time.
Hixie responds with 1.
One
So
segment secured. That will give them a
Yeah.
slight advantage, and they will stop the clock here again.
this
Down
Afro
by
right
5
now
lives,
tagging.
it
I
will
should.
be 5
I need to
Fears.
find a way to
Afro over the
take
top,
the kill
though, just a little
feed.
bit too easy. You got to sprint
Afro
to the
gets
zone.
2
Not
piece.
a whole lot of options
He
left,
gets straight
and
S3
no chance
down.
for a touch. Team Notorious, they do a solid job.
1-1
themselves.
in the
Great
control.
communication on the retakes for those zones. Not getting over aggressive there, even for Afro, who used to be that player who would jump over that wall and chow those players on the zone. This time he waits for the rest of the team. He takes the fights he needs to, trust that his teammates will win a couple of those fights as well. And he's in the perfect position to take down the rest for leaving those opening mid doors. Not to mention Rafi, that play that he had in the spawn of 5 Fears to take down Abe, who was on that B zone looking to make a play. Defense has reigned true. Single tick so far for 5 Fears. And we swap again for Notorious to see if they can fix up what we saw from round 1.
Oh, Hixie, a little finesse there on the Afro, slides right underneath his aim, breaks some ankles while doing it. He comes all the way around the back, puts together 2 good shots on the Rafi with the reshell and help from his teammate. They do
Come
basically clear off the zone,
on,
and
Fear.
now it is
Let's
right back to the
go.
blender
I'm
potentially
pretty
here
sure
for
you
Team
can crop it
Notorious,
and
but
put kills. Yeah,
as
that's
they say,
exactly what I plan to
win all
do.
their battles,
Is
they
you
are
can
able to
like
get
you can
themselves
I
a
can
map.
crop like
Really seeing
the kill feed, and then also
really strong stats
maybe
on
their
these
name.
zones, just Afro.
I could not format the because how short the bottom is and how
What a read.
square it is. But yeah, I'm going to put their kill feed somewhere. But it's just for tournaments, watch parties.
Moment now for 5
When I get more
Fears,
viewers
as
than
they're no
online,
longer gonna have that
like
map
a
control.
solid
Players
sub base
lingering
and viewers,
behind
then
on
I'll
the
do it on
defensive
a
side.
regular platform. With
So
these,
it's gonna hurt you a little bit.
but
Blue
everything
ticks
else in shorts. I'm gonna be
secured,
streaming in
extra
shorts
minutes
because
secured,
it's
and
just
you
how
still got yourself a
so
light
many
lead.
people get discovered.
This might pan out to be a really smart play, though, from 5 Fears. If they can find these kills on the exits from that air foam, trying to track down Exceed, who's got the Jackal out 14.
We tried to do it too, though. Crop it when I was playing rank play. Put my SR gain and loss. You know how people put their SR, how much they've gotten in a day or lost in a day, in the thing, and it wouldn't do it.
Team Notorious at the moment on this attack, but we've seen
We had
that
to try to work on it a little
to
bit
the
more.
wayside.
Appreciate people that all the people I see hopping in here. You guys are goated. Go ahead and just drop a like
Still
and
over a
sub
minute
for
to
me. I
play.
really do
Middle map
appreciate it.
control. Gonna be secured. Fire needs
Every
to play
time when
light
I
in the
start
back. He's
YouTube
gonna do a
Shorts,
solid
bro,
job of at
like
least
it's
getting
slowly like
Rafi.
even the first time it was
He
like
can't help
bam
with this
30
play, but
viewers
we're now
instantly.
in the
Yes, they
zone
fall
here.
off
Team
pretty
Notorious
fast, but
here. A
and
couple
then it's
players
like bam
lingering.
10
Fire's
viewers,
waiting
10
for his
15
teammates to
viewers,
group up
especially if
and
you're
gather
playing
in
game and
before
you're going
Hero
off
starts
the
to peak.
like cold 10 or
Now he goes for the
15.
Jal,
But
another big
but
pickup
that's
onto
good.
Eric.
Just like it
One more
brought
player
you into the
gonna be
up into
F-Dot.
the
He is close
algorithm
and ready to pounce
right
on
when
the
you
zone
start
if they
streaming, and
have
then
to.
you
He got
have to
help
like
up
hold
top,
your
but
viewers
Fire
from
doing
there.
everything.
Then
Trying to
back
keep him off the
in
zone.
day when I started Twitch, it was not like that. You had to like we had to post on every message board possible to start getting me views. And then one side and like once you have like a solid 20 or 30 viewers, then it starts to roll because
to go
then it's like,
down,
okay,
looking for the
people
respawns as
kind
well.
of
And
flock,
speaking
you know,
of,
together,
there
and
are
they're like,
none.
oh, there's 30,
So
40
Five
people
Fierce
watching.
down to their last
I saw a
4
chick last night with
lives, and
30,
this could go
40
straight to
viewers, and then
segments,
she
and you
slowly
wanna
started
throw your
going
life
up to
away
like
right now.
70 and
Yeah,
80.
you do. You don't want to give the last tick.
I rub
and
my hands a lot
doesn't
when
look
I'm
like
doing
they're
this.
gonna
I have
get it,
nothing
but
to
man,
do
it felt like
whenever I'm
Fire was
staying,
alive and
like,
Lantos
talking.
for just about as long as you could ever hope for, finding pick
I'm over
after
those.
pick, but his teammates just
So
unable to stay alive, not
the
able
round?
to
It looks
really
like
get
Notorious
involved
takes
in
round
the
2,
play.
round 3, so it
And
puts him
that's
up
certainly gonna
2-1.
hurt. You feel the punishment. A little peekaboo up and down from Eric Boom, who finishes the round very strong and gets a couple more
So
kills. but
Notorious
that is
looking
beautiful to win that offensive round.
And that's
go
a
take
great
the lead
round
in the
offense
series,
just in
but I
general,
really
and
don't
I
think
even
they
you
can
look
take
at
the next
pivot
HP
point
and Search off
for
here.
Afro playing so
So,
close towards sidewalk. You
but
get the
we'll
double
see.
stack in, you have your teammates winning his fights towards top triple, shutting down that flank through Zip, and when Afro gets that double kill, you get the stack in. Five Fierce, they want to play for the exits, but Team Notorious, they're not too aggressive. After the A zone gets captured, they play for the kills. They play to make sure that they are still holding that space towards mid, and it helps when F.Dot's on 8 in a row and Eric's on 5 in a row. These two are lighting it up.
Yeah, I would love to see if that streak ends up coming through there for F-Dot. Looks like he was just about to sliver off.
Yeah, no, it's
And
way
Eric,
way
well, that
better
streak
way
will
to
come
get
an end,
exposure.
but A has been highly contested at the start of this round. First ticket secured. F-Dot still looking just for one more kill. Does not want to throw away his life. Wants the bait and switch.
F-Dot gets
there
one.
is the streak.
F-Dot gets
That's
almost
now in the
2.
back
No, that's 3
pocket.
down
And you also
for
stop that
Notorious.
second segment from being secured on A.
That's going to be good.
So they're gonna be pushing into the spawn, trying to trap Fear. I know Afro catches him, and so does Eric Boom. Is 2 down for Fear. Okay, Fear spawn will get 1. Fire gets 1. Fire gets straight out by Boom.
As quick as possible if you're going to make a quick hit to these zones. You don't want to leave it to the last couple seconds.
And they're just kind of floating in the spawn, trying to keep them pinned in the spawn and from making too much progression out and getting too much map control. And Boom's doing a good job of that.
4 in a row.
When he said to me, he's like, they got a guy named Eric Boom on their team, bro. He's our cup. I appreciate all the people hopping in here. I see the viewers going up and down.
And he is able to get the second tick, third almost in. The problem, though, the lives are starting to dwindle, and you're still struggling to fully get out of your spawn as a team.
Sorry, guys. I'm looking at the chat and shit. That's why I like looking down on my phone, because my chat on my other monitor doesn't work that well. And the viewers is so weird. I don't know which one to believe half the time. Because I've been holding like 3 or 4. And then sometimes I look down and there's 15 on my YouTube app. 16-6. This looks like Notorious right here. I mean, unless... Yeah, they have to get both points. Now this is over. 15-3. No way Notorious takes this. I mean, if they would, it would be crazy. You know, these trades, they literally all get traded. 1 life. That's that. Notorious go up 2-1.
After that first round, it felt like it was all them. They'll grab themselves the map 3.
Look, he's still playing great, but a 1v4 for the B zone in protocol control.
We're watch this kill cam. I'm gonna take a restroom break really quick, and I'll be back.
On that from anybody whatsoever.
We are at what about? I've been streaming for about an hour and a half. I will be here till the end of the day, though. So we've got this match, 1 or 2, possibly 2 more maps, and then I believe 3 more matches. I think that we're waiting to Gorilla Mates play. I forget who next. I don't want to say. It'll show the bracket. I'll be back. I'll let you guys know when it makes sense.
Shoots Abe off of that top B position, and in doing so, slows it down to a solo push, a solo stack on that zone. I mean, he had just the right kills at the right time for this team. And 5 Fierce, it's another map, just like the Protocol Search and Destroy, that just doesn't look like they're all that prepared to go into. The defense looks good, but the offense really needs work.
It does. A little bit of work, and it felt like they started to get a little overwhelmed, especially once they'd lose that initial break off. You take a look at the replay package, and that first round, man, as convincing as ever for 5 Fierce. It felt like, you know, 2 totally different stories for as far as how it starts and how it ends. Not a single segment given over in that first round there to Team Notorious. And then obviously, you know, a solid match. They make sure, I think it was just limited to 1 here for round number 2, but after that, it was just all Team Notorious going rogue in their spawn, finding kills, and a lot of streaks as well, which means that players just simply were not getting traded out whatsoever when we got down to the back spawn.
Yeah, this right here, I was impressive with the patience from Afro, and he plays his one-on-one towards Helicopter well. It sets him up to get the rest through that front door, and You know, for Team Notorious on their attacking side, where they won it back in round number 3, it's that A capture immediately, followed up with patience to wait for Five Fears to be the first ones to make the mistake. They knew they had the time. They didn't have to invest too many resources to get over towards B as quick as possible. So they do a good job at slaying out effectively through mid, forcing those spawns away from Lighthouse and towards the back of Grandma's. A lot of ground for Five Fears to cover, and trying to break from those back Grandma spawns with the setup that anybody has towards that B control zone. It's a very hard gunfight to take. Very easy for those players on the B zone to set up on a power position and just take you out. It's a great offensive round from Team Notorious for a 3-1 win to now put them in the lead in the winners final over Five Fears, heading into one of the best maps we've seen Five Fears on all weekend.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, listen, bad news. Yeah, last 2 maps didn't exactly go your way. Didn't look the best, but you are going into what almost feels like your bread and butter in this tournament. And that has been the Rewind hardpoint. It has been something they've been able to rely on, something that we've seen them win pretty convincingly both times up against Rocker yesterday as well as Omit Brooklyn. So it's been something they've had to rely on, and a lot of their maps, you know, have now gone, you know, to map number 5. So a chance to still get us to a Hacienda search. You have to imagine it is in the cards, and I think the one thing if you're Team Notorious and you're able to do any prep whatsoever going into this winners final is track Hixie. Hixie's missing on the map. Make sure you track him down. I think this team is probably relatively good when it comes down to tracking names and figuring out where players are and at least who's missing on the map, but you got to make sure you track him because he one spawns just a crucial amount of times, it felt like yesterday.
My best advice for Rewind hardpoint is grow eyes on the back of your head, especially if you're going to hold down those back spawns as an anchor, because there is always somebody trying to flank you, no matter who it is. Sure. And that's impossible. Only one person I've ever seen have eyes on the back of his head, and it rhymes with Himbo. And we don't really want to talk about that too much. So we're going into this Rewind feeling good for Five Fears. I think that even you can look to their performance yesterday to kind of reinforce this whole process for them. It was 250 to 122 against that Omit Brooklyn team, where they looked undeniable for this map. And you're right to call out Hixie, but again, we got to put some, I guess, favors towards the AR lineup, especially on that Skyline, and what Exceed and Fire have been able to do on this squad, because especially Exceed on this Rewind, he really has been performing.
Yeah, he had a strong performance yesterday against Rocker with like a 1.2, so there's a lot of players that could step up, a lot of players that could most certainly push you and help you get to that map number 5. We're just gonna have to wait and see who those are going to be. Here we go, ladies and gents. Map number 4. Need to win this if you're Five Fears. Team Notorious, though, they could punch their ticket to the grand final right here.
Early team kill from Afro. Is going to be better spawns early for Team Notorious, but that's going to be immediately flipped out from both sides. Some time off the start for Notorious, but just a little bit here.
All right, chat, I'm back. Sorry.
Not ready for that.
Getting
Hixie
started.
able to come all the way around, and Eric's also now going to
Nico, you still there?
Knowing the importance of what's going to come for P2. Abe thinking about getting bumped and pushing forward. And he will also be shut down, so able to contain this.
Bruh, did you receive your text messages?
I said you always gotta watch for Hixie.
Bruh, I just hit crazy, yo, today, and I some crazy lines, and I already had some other crazy lines. Hit crazy. I literally screamed of, fuck yeah, look at, you saw what I sent you.
Good damage in from Notorious as they got the they want.
Well, they want a double hit.
Alright, so off the beginning here, they're tied up in P2. Notorious have control of P2. They're trying to cut these players off, trying to break the spawns. They go 2 for 2. And then Rocky holds it to the third. That's 4 down for on the side of for Fear. Yeah, they're set up trash. Perfect.
There's no way you can cross without challenging him. It is really hard to get by him when he is shooting like this. Fire. He's alone. Rafi trades it another 4 down.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm messing it up because they keep switching the teams
around. You haven't
around.
flipped those spawns out just yet, but if you decide to go here, if you're Five Fears and take another swing at this one, you are risking it, especially that Afro is already rotated.
And this is the problem sometimes when this team gets ahead and they start playing with the tempo, they are just always ahead of the curve. They're just moving a little bit faster than you are, and they're in positions where you're just not expecting them to be. Afro finds Fire for an easy cleanup. backing up for another potential battle onto Hixie, but Hixie will get the best of him. So finally, a positive moment for Five Fears, and now we'll see if they can start to lock in a setup of their own.
Except you're dealing with a
Okay,
fast
come on,
retake through
Fears.
Burger.
I think
Already in
Notorious
position
might
to
be
take
ready
you
to
off
close
the
this
hill,
out.
so Five Fears are just
Actually,
struggling
okay
to
with that.
exist
Fear didn't
in
play
the
really
time,
well,
and
but Notorious just might have
they want to contest
the
this as best as they can. Well, they send
reps.
anybody through P1 to flip the spawns
Oh,
out.
they're getting some time here.
Hixie, lots to
They
watch
need
for.
another
Good
wave to
snap on
kind of fool.
Afro,
Oh no, they
challenges
flipped
out
him
the
out
front.
already.
What a moment that is from Hixie. He'll find some pretty
Okay,
critical
Fears
kills,
holding
and he
this.
can now maybe
He's
start to
gonna
press
be,
forward a little
Hicksy's
bit.
gonna be
Has to
pushing
make
up
sure he
right
doesn't
here,
flip things out, but he can
trying to
certainly
get these
be
kills,
annoying
push
and
them
come
back
play
into the
again.
P2
It's red,
spawn so
but
they can
does not
hold
matter.
back
Hixie up to 5 in a row.
P4.
We saw that same play from Kenny yesterday.
He buffed the
It did
time,
force
and
those
the other
spawn
player
downs.
rotates.
4 or 5 Fears when they were playing Rocker, but fortunately enough for Hixie, he's got his teammates.
F-Dot picks him though.
deep in the
Hixie
P4
responds,
setup,
Fire
so
responds.
5 Fears
That's
off
2,
of a
and then
lackluster
Eric
P2.
Boom
They're
responds
able
with
to bring
one
this to a
himself.
10-point game with the setup
Afro
now
gets another
on
one,
Money Hill.
but they still have the
Fire
time.
looking to
Fears.
reinforce the
Fire
front,
trying to
but
reinforce,
he's actually
exactly,
away.
yep.
No shots there.
There's-
Almost gets the good look at the second.
And
Rafi
there's
does
still
manage to
one
get there
back
for the
here.
trade, but
Hixie
can't
trade,
play
and
his
that's
life any
perfect.
longer.
And then
Battle
Exceed
on the
gets one in the hill.
Exceed
That's
will take
perfect.
that.
And
Another
he's
good
starting to
moment.
push
5 Fears
forward and
starting to
cut
find
these
their
players
footing,
off, hitting the
starting to
front
work
store.
back into the hard point.
Something that Exceed's been really impressing me with is he's getting a lot more involved in playing on the hard points, and some big fight wins there for him to keep his team involved for this P4, soaking up the hill time, now swinging 20 points their way. He is a difference maker for this map for sure.
5 Fears also picking up the
For
tempo
sure.
themselves now. Afro, though, cuts down the rotation. You will not be moving
Willy
over to
nilly.
P5
He
anytime
gets all
soon.
point.
Couple key kills come through, and they're also able to get their hands on some of the scrap time here. So a solid moment.
I don't know
for
why
Team
in my
Notorious
brain
back.
constantly playing
Will
is
this leave
that
them shorthanded, though, making their way
meme
to
of
new?
when the
Couple
Chick-fil-A
members will be looking
employees
for a
and
50-50
Sunday and it's
battle
that
now
group
on
of like
P5.
Mormons
Yeah, we'll
dancing,
see
bro.
if
They're
they can
breaking
win
this
this.
shit down.
On the PK, so
It can never be the
set up
same.
over towards New. Notorious backed into a corner, but this is
Okay,
where they
so
love to be. Rafi's got some shots to help out.
Notorious
Eric
down by
Boom
10,
now sliding
and if
through
they're
Elephant
in
with his
here,
sub in
I don't know
hands,
what
and
the
Exceed and
Fears
Hixie
looking
gonna
at,
be
but they
able to
get
fight
2.
back, but they have yet to
They get
fully
3, they
break
get
just
4, okay,
yet.
I was
Finally,
wrong, they
Afro
break.
goes down, Exceed.
And they're
He's gonna
trying to
find his way
extend their
in for the
lead.
team.
He pushes
Yeah,
out
Rafi might
Zig,
need to pump the
Exceed.
brakes a little bit, wait for his teammates to regroup,
He's
set up the
holding
hit.
last
He's
push.
able to win the
With his
isolated
back.
kill, though, through the outside of the point. Give a
He's got
chance
2
to
players to
maybe
deal with
play
here.
for
He gets
right through
traded.
L, but completely
It's 2
shut
for
down.
2.
It's gonna be Abe.
Oh,
Now
that's
looking forward,
3.
it's gonna
Oh,
be a
wow.
double, and seeing if you can go to the
Oh,
knife.
wow,
No
that's all
fire in
4.
the back. He is there for the assistance. That is
I'm telling you, man, these
another
Fears
big kill,
guys,
and
they
Abe had
ain't
a slow
playing
start,
around.
But he's starting to work himself back into the game now too. Make it 4 in a row.
We can never
P5
be the
on
same.
Rewind. When in doubt, knife it out. And Abe, he had
When
the
in doubt,
chance,
knife it
but
out.
that is
Everybody
some
learned it from
great
Heiser,
teamwork
bro.
from
Like, when you're in
5
those
Fears to break
gunfights,
for the last couple
where
of
it's like
seconds
they
there.
got
It's
you
gonna
one
hold them
shot, all
to
they gotta do is
a
trade you, and they're
40
running at you.
point
Pull out that
lead
knife,
in a
bro.
round. Now 30-point lead. Going
People
into the
knew
second
that, but
rotations. Team
that this
Notorious
game is
P1,
so
P2.
OP.
It was their best setup. Let's
Commando
see if they
Pro.
can do it
Actually,
again.
yeah, it isn't really. You gotta be right dead on, but
Patiently waiting for the challenge. Eric, not going to be able to get the best of Hixie.
Never
Got the
be
call
the
out, wanted to get the
same.
trade, but Hixie's been pretty solid so far here on the rewind. 18 kills to his name. Huge facts on why 5 Fears do have the lead they do. 30 seconds left to fight on P1. Fire also going to give it a go and try to reinforce the hill, but he's being slightly overwhelmed. Chow will likely come to him, and F-Dot does finish him off, as you now have a chance for Team Notorious maybe to start flying through to P2. And
I hear
Exceed
F-Dot
recognizes
finished off a
exactly
lot of
that.
guys.
For shots after, what a win. Spawn to the back for Team Notorious now to see if they can swing things back their way. You lose out on the scrap time, but that's okay. Everybody's gonna spawn up right on top of you.
Somebody
This is where
here?
we saw them get a good majority of that lead that they had.
My dad will call
at the
me if
start of
he
this
instead of
game,
just
but not
walking
without
in.
5 Fears, at least forcing a couple of these spawns out themselves.
this is beautiful from Fire, but you need almost one more kill to come through for him. And Fire says, no problem. I
Okay,
got
so
you,
Fear,
brother.
they still got
He comes
about
up with
30
3.
point
That
lead.
means that they're going to be able to lock in the close
They've
spawn.
got
Now
P2
just need to find the
rotation.
kills out front.
Oh, well, they
Abe's
got
there for the
to
assistance. Clears the one through the
fight
crate
the
side.
players
Now
trying to
looking just
fight and break
hold
it,
down the
but
hill. And so
Afro
far
and
it's
Airboom
been
get
good,
2.
but
That's
Eric
crucial for
threatening
them.
back, looking to try to
Hixie
play
responds in
flank.
1. He was
Won't
trying
be
to keep it alive.
successful. Just need the kills to come through the front. And Team
Oh,
Notorious
Rafi
are
and
actually
Afro pick up
holding
2,
on.
and they've got
Bully,
P2 now.
everything out for
And they're
5 Fears.
spawning
They can't hold
Electric,
on.
and
Both
F-Dot is
teams
going on a
with
pinch here.
breaks
This might be
on this
perfect.
hill.
He gets 1, but he's
Now Team
he's looking towards
Notorious
semi, but the
goes
players
down,
have already
so
pushed
it's
up,
where
so
he
that's
can
3
get the
down.
last
So
20
he's got a perfect
seconds, tie
positioning now
things
to
up.
cut these players off, and they're going to be
Spawn
all...
out
Oh, no, they
by
spawned in the
Fierce as
back.
well.
Whoa, whoa.
So that is just making matters worse. Afro once again working towards this new
They
P3
spawn in the
hill. He
back,
is
wow.
24
They're
and
gonna be rotating to
11,
P3 now.
gets turned on by Hixie, and it looks like all that
And
work
Hixie
amounts
has been
for
cutting
nothing.
jersey, 22 and 20. Abe needs to turn up just a little bit, and this game's over. He's 11 and 20, 13 and 16 out of Exceed. He's been playing great, but a little slow game for him. 18 and 20 out of Fire. F Dot and Afro though combined 25 and 13 and 23 and 15. They're combined 48 and 29. And then 16 and 16 even out of the teammates, and 16 and 20.
Your 5 years, you are stacked to the point, getting some pretty
So
critical time.
they're positive like
Still 30 seconds.
10, 11,
Team Notorious
I
is-
think
is a
something like
deep
that.
flank from Rafi, but Abe's gonna pick
What's
that
that?
one up.
6 plus 8, 14 minus.
They gotta fight through this
5.
one. There's no options.
Wow,
13
Eric
or so.
Patience comes up with 2, and that gives them a chance to a lot of this time at the very least go neutral while holding on to the favorite side of the map. So that does give you at least a solid position for getting yourself back into the game if
This is
you
gonna
can hold
spawn
the
them
time.
out. This is gonna spawn them so deep. And it's not even parallels. 5 fears, they're getting away
I
with
wish
it.
we
Van
would have
Austin.
qualified for this
Oh,
one.
Rafi has to
I
come
had
up
get
as the
a few
hero
more
here
rounds
for his
in,
squad, and he can't slip away. The car blows up right in his face. So another miracle moment coming through here for 5 fears. Just a
Hixie is
matter
a
of
great
holding
one.
on.
Split spawns in. Team Notorious. Can they hold on? Big
I think
fights,
we're going
big
to a
kills
game
coming
5.
through in the
Notorious is
backfire.
unless
Ends up
Notorious gets
dropping
all this
still.
time here,
The
we're going
spawn
to a
up
game 5. I'm
towards
calling
the
it.
truck in the
Oh,
back.
and then
Nobody's
Fear
gonna be
breaks
ready
again.
for it. This is
But they
so
keep him off
mixy.
it first. F-Dot gets a big 2 to keep them off of it, but he's got another 2 fuel. He gets 3, and oh, can he get the 4th? He almost gets the 4th. Exceed takes him down. Afro gets Abe. Exceed is still there in the back trying to fight this time, so they can't. This is crucial time to tie up the game. Either they extend their lead to about 40, or Rafi ties it up. And he realized 6 behind him, but he still almost manages to turn on him.
That will be 5 years coming up with about 10.
Team Notorious
But that was big time for them to stop. That keeps them in the lead. They almost didn't have a lead no more. Now it keeps them at a 30-point lead going into the 5th rotation. And now for this time it's going to be Notorious here first, and Fears is going to be looking to break
30
in.
seconds off this hill last time.
Oh, Afro, he's almost always good for 2, it feels like right now. 34 and 18, giving his team everything to try to make the comeback and try to come up big. And it will be another huge moment for Team Notorious to hold on. Trying to fly on out. Rafi ready and waiting. Here's a moment, though. You're able to find a couple kills in the hard point. Hixie's been able to play his life for a moment, but the reinforcements are in. The trades are back and forth. Who's going to come out with the time? And it feels like, again, Team Notorious getting it done and maybe looking for the lead change.
Yeah, it got a little bit scary. I mean, there's so many times where a player from 5 Fears almost makes the heroic play. Abe's going to be doing that this time to hold on to this lead heading into the 3rd rotation of Hills. And Notorious, they have a good run at that last one. They brought this into a 10-point game just over. And these P1, P2 Hills, Austin, it could be a good, better set of hills for Notorious to try to steal this one
Appreciate
away.
everybody
Yeah, they
for
might be able to get it done, just trailing by
saying
10 seconds. Contest spots now for both squads as everybody lines up at the 50-yard line, seeing who could take the battles. But it is all Team Notorious here thus far. A nade kill for a trade. Hixie also looking for a flank,
wow.
and he
And
might be able to
Notorious
come up with one.
gets called
He
back into
does.
the P5 rotation with 2-2. Hixie gets 3 or 2, and Fire gets 1. That's 3. Abe gets the 4th. That's 4 down. Wow.
Critical moment again.
Yeah, you gotta
That's
go.
4
And
down,
not
so
only
Fears
try to
has
flip
got
these
this,
spawns,
and
you
they've got
have
a
to fight
10-point
through
lead. They
P1.
need
This is
30 to
not
close
time
this
that
out.
you
They
wanna
can't
give
close
up
it out
on
here,
this.
so we will see a
What can you do
rotation.
here? Afro, this
That's
time
1
around,
out of
no good for
Exceed.
any kill despite
That's
having
a big
40.
kill.
The
2
rest of his
for
teammates
2.
looking to also
Hixie
come
gets
up
a
with kills, but
3rd.
it is still time going the way of 5
And that's
Fears.
4.
A
That's
great
4 down.
read from
They'll
Fire
have
in
about
the
240
hole
if it's
to
not
take
broken
out
going
another.
into the next
Time
hill,
going
but
their way,
it's
and
more
now it's just a battle
about
for
pushing these
rotation.
guys out towards Diner and towards those back spawns, so they have to rotate through the back, because by the time they get there, they're going to be a few points from winning it, and you want to make sure that Notorious can't win here. So and that goes away in about 12
Can they get
seconds.
themselves inside of the hill? It is required. It is
Okay, and they're
necessary.
in the
Fire
hill,
looking to also
so
find
they need,
something if he
but
can.
they break
Afro from
in.
the back, though. He might
They
have been able
need
to slip
8 more
through.
seconds.
Afro with a
Afro
massive
breaks,
double up. That's
but they
gonna
can't
flip
win
the
here. No,
spawn,
no,
and
it
that gives them a chance to
I think
hold
they're
on.
just 1 point from winning here. So they not only have to hold this perfectly, but also rotate. I mean, it's going to take 1 wipe. Abe breaks is 2, but they're not giving up.
It is a battle.
Is it ever?
This is
Team
getting
Notorious, though, they
demoralized, and
can't
honestly
win.
think
You
that
just need
unless
to
they
hold on
close this
for a
out, they
few
shouldn't be
more
fighting
moments
this
to
hard
make
for
sure
it because
Five
if they
Fears
can
can't
get
win. Afro,
now they're
leading up to
rotating,
what
they're
might
gonna
be
be
50
they're gonna be
kills
tied up
here
going
in
into
this
P3. This
hardpoint.
is
The
crazy,
race
and
for
I'm gonna
new,
recruit from the
everybody
back
running
pocket.
to the restaurant.
It's gotta be
Yeah,
a
they're
break.
sprinting
And you
forward.
wanna
Who
do
is
it
it?
faster
Who is
than
it?
that.
Have it?
You
I'm
can see
actually
it
okay with
working in the
Notorious
backline. Eric
closing
Bow
them
with the
out.
big kill, but it's gotta be the
They've
front
got
for
it.
Rafi.
All right, Five Fears looking to
245,
hold on for a few
246,
more seconds.
247.
Who's going to be the
They
hero?
stop at
Can anybody from
247.
Team
He gets
Notorious
them.
get themselves into the
But
hill? It's
that's
Trey's
how,
back
I don't
in
know who's
fury. Here
alive.
we
Wait,
go. It's
oh my
enough
God!
for Team Notorious
F
to
dot gets
hold
on the hill,
for maybe
and they're all
just a
spawning back
moment.
diner.
Everybody from Five
All they gotta do is
Fears
line
from
up
the
the trades now.
restaurant side. It's a self-nade.
And
It's a
it's the
self-nade
triple
that comes
nades.
through.
Oh my
1
lord!
second for the
Afro's
win.
falls in one.
Afro's
That's all.
flying
That's
in,
4
but
down.
it's
Oh my
not
god! And
enough.
Fierce
Team
wins.
Notorious, they collapsed in the final moments.
What a game from Five Fears.
Wow,
Hats
see,
off to
Notorious, I don't even think
Notorious.
they should have fought that hard for it
What a
because now they're
hold from
demoralized going into
P2,
map
the
5. We'll
break into
see.
P3 as well.
Is this
Eric
another
goes
Fierce?
massive
This wasn't
to
a
assist
reverse
his
sweep,
sub
but
duo,
they
and it's
did
putting
are
up
taking the last few
egregious numbers
matches,
for a rewind.
right?
Afro trying to carry
Yeah,
the team.
no, they
He got
took
some
the
big moments from
Notorious
Rafi
took
towards the
control.
end as
They
well,
win.
but it's just not enough. A self-nade
No, Fear takes the control
in the hill.
because
Brother.
The closed burger spawns for Five Fears. They hold on. And even look at the numbers for this team too. It is not good KDs
They
at
took the
all
hard point.
between Five Fears, but you look at that translated to the
it's
objective.
somewhat of a
3
reverse
players
sweep
over
and
a minute in the hill,
a
exceed almost
mini
2
reverse
minutes
sweep.
in the hill just alone himself. And you're just getting away with the right kills at the right time to soak up that hill. And every single time you saw Five Fears find themselves in a break position, they were spawning Team Notorious so far away that you could just get free time at that point. And that's the difference between, you know, getting kills, buffing out those stats, and getting the right kills for Five Fears.
Wow. We're going to take a look at that replay. I feel like I'm still soaking it in, trying to take it in here slowly but surely. It was a battle the whole way through. It was Team Notorious that had a pretty solid start. I'm excited to see that game flow as well, but
Yeah.
so much back and forth and coming down to the absolute wire in the end, Colin.
I mean, they always get it done. I want to see that turning point. The P2s for Notorious are where they most impressed me. It's just when you get to 3, 4, 5, that's when Five Fears are still able to play for those P4 spawns. If they end up losing it, there's always that hero player that's able to win 1 or 2 kills towards the back to at least contest that time. Same thing happens over towards P3. And
Sure.
in a team like Five Fears, who have 4 players who can flex over towards a Jackal, P5 is just going to normally be a good hill from them. And they come out with the majority of the time in this one. This play right now from Afro, though, you get 3 down. You don't even flip the spawns back. So usually teams on P2, they try to flip it out, see if you can play from the front of that hill and get an easy rotation over towards 3. But that just didn't happen there. A race over towards P3, a team nade, it all blows up for your squad. And yeah, that game flow. Just look at those last couple of hills, Austin.
Oh, man. Like, neck and neck the whole way through. You did see a slight edge there for a while, of course. It felt like for Five Fears, but when it comes down to that P3 hill, it could have went either way. Both teams just absolutely swinging, and it does not get closer than that. It was certainly a good chance to try to grab the rewind.
And I think the middle of the game was really the difference for Five Fears. As you can see, it's just a steady lead for them, just splitting time with Team Notorious. Somebody always getting into contest. It felt like, you know, ever since that second P2 where you can see all the way into that 3rd rotation, you're just splitting 20 for 20, and you can never close that gap if you're Team Notorious. And even though they were so keen on playing for those spawns, anchoring out, trying to play perfect hard points in the sense of, you know, manipulating where Five Fears are coming from, and you had the slaying as well. Afro dropped 40 kills for the team. It still just wasn't amounting to hill time for the squad in the grand scheme of things. And you have those big moments towards the end, but you really look at the middle at where the side of Five Fears were just able to continue to contest and keep that trade of 20 points from either squad going for a good solid of that map.
Yeah, man. That's got to be one of those maps where you look at the EKIA if you're Afro and you're like probably pushing 80, if not 70s for sure. It felt like, I think it was 49 kills. Like, that's definitely a tough one to lose. It's going to be a heartbreaker, but hey, man, rewind hardpoint. It is delivered, and it is a great time. So we are going to throw it to a short break, ladies and gents. When we come back, we got map 5 to see who's advancing to the grand final. Welcome back, Call of Duty fans, as we continue the action here with map number 5 coming up on Visions. That's Seymour. We just had an absolute banger on the Rewind hardpoint that went the distance, but in the end gets us to a map 5, so I'm not complaining. Now we'll see what happens as we get ready to load up onto Hacienda.
Feel like I'd have it no other way. Game 5 versus both of these two teams who have been winning their game modes that we expected. 5 Fears looking good in the hard points. Team Notorious trying to battle up to those respawns, but for the Search and Destroy, that has been where Team Notorious set the difference against a lot of these North American teams. So it's 5 Fears who are looking to steal this one away now.
First round.
See, got a lot of
And
information
Fire gets
there,
for blood,
but
F-Dot trades it out.
teammates,
Abe gets the
just comes
second,
all
so
around the
that's
outside
3v2
It's
on the favor of
surprising one
Fierce.
against
I'm
Influence
telling you, man,
second.
Fierce.
He's going to come his way. He's able to duck and dodge away. Now just down to a 3v2. Team Notorious no longer with the numbers as they look to clear B.
This is a really
Alcohol
weird
wipe, you
attacking
gotta stay
round.
disinfected.
You've taken that bomb all
Gotta
the way
stay
past A and
disinfected.
behind, and Team Notorious, they're going to answer this with a little bit of aggression. You catch Abe off guard, make this a 2 versus 2. And
He's
that
playing
gives
this
you a
right.
chance,
He
but
needs info.
Abe is staying active.
It's
F-Dot.
crazy they don't see each other just yet, and Abe might spot one. Rafi
And
almost
Abe
with the
trades him
snapper,
out.
but
That's
does enough
perfect. That's
damage.
exactly what you want.
Maybe give F-Dot a chance.
2v1,
This
and they
would
put the
be for
bomb
a
down and they
full-on
take boat
ace here.
control.
Now dropping into the 1v2.
Look how far both players are.
Yeah, he knows that they're out here, but he knows
out.
he's...
Tough fight to take. So big round.
If he would have went through
Out
office
of
there, he would
5
have had a
Fears,
chance,
and
but of
big-
course he didn't know that.
I'd say weird round just in general. And the way that you play that with the early aggression.
Oh,
up
look at
towards
that.
B,
You see?
trying to
Oh,
draw
you
that
can't
attention.
see it,
They
but I
do. They
made it
pull
in the
all
trash
of the
can.
players from Notorious off of A. It allows Exceed as well as Hixie to have a free flank. And maybe if you catch Abe in that position and Rafi does stay alive, that
So that's
2v2
1-0
becomes
in
a lot
favor
easier to
of
manage. You're not
Fears.
really seeing 5
Going
Fears
to the
in
next
such a
round.
strong post plants, but the fact that Abe gets that 1 kill that pretty much solidifies the round.
It does. Great solo call or solo push, whatever it was for Abe to make that play. And now all the action right through mid. Good nade over the top there. At least the trade comes through for Abe as he shows the aggression again. And that's just going to be an immediate trade. But Afro, he's looking to sneak through, and he does catch Hixie. 3v2 here for Team Notorious.
Good kill. It's going to open up this B plant. Both members of 5 Fears going to hit this one through Lambo. Wonder if they'll get to rock before anybody notices, and they will, because it's going to be a boathouse post plant where this bomb is planted for office.
Yep. Not going to be an easy retake. And likely going to have to do it through top office. Winning a couple of key battles. Abe, wow. We don't see it from his POV, but it looked like a heck of a gunfight.
2v2.
Afro, 2v2.
And
Give themselves a chance here.
Notorious have the bomb
They're
down.
gonna
20
have to go
seconds.
fairly
Fires
quickly.
trying to
They are
find
still a
this.
little bit low on time.
Eric Boom
Eric's gonna
takes
find a big
down
kill.
Abe.
Bring it into
Yeah,
a 1
this
versus
is
2.
1-1.
Fire turned around, breaks open the door.
Fire
and
just
even
put
if
down
he
as
did find
well.
that kill, there was no time, Austin, to get that round on board. So back-to-back offensive wins, both towards this B site. A lot more streamlined for Team Notorious to get that fast plant out, and I like the call from the defense to retake from Lambo. It's a good call just in general to see if you can get somebody
Just
in
in
that post
general
plant
to see
early, but
if you're going to be
Team
needing to
Notorious
do
just
that.
staying ahead in these calls. They get it planted for the better side, for that top office. Really hard site to break.
Bro, the LAG match is
Lot
going on
of
right now. I
offensive
don't know why
wins
we're
to
watching
kick
this
off the
one.
Hacienda
They're 1-1
Search,
LAG match.
And we'll see if Abe does a similar play. Last time he late hit through B after all this mid presence had kind of taken place. But Rafi is able to grab Hixie pretty cleanly this time around. Eric also gets information, just flies at fire. And that will be a couple of early kills for Team Notorious.
Rafi just opened up space for Eric Boom. Closing those doors, free kill onto Exceed.
Wow.
Last up, it's gonna be a 1 versus 4 for Abe, the young gun.
What can Abe do? Takes the chow, has to. And Team Notorious this time around makes some adjustments, able to match the pressure. Again, the opening gun battles really playing a huge factor this time around.
Fast rounds, what we've been seeing on this Hacienda. Team Notorious, though, not letting up on the pressure, even on the defensive side. This time you go offense for offense, and you just figure out, all right, how do we stop these fast plants? How do we stop them from getting all this space? Well, Rafi's first blood frees Eric Boom completely to rush down top open, get towards that top spiral position, and literally nobody knew he was there whatsoever. He was playing it perfect. Even when the doors closed, call doesn't come in for Exceed, and now 5FEAR is going to see if they can win a defense of their own, but it's going to be Notorious out to be right away.
Yeah, wow, F-Dot. How about the confidence? Just takes the Chow head on. Looking for toes.
Okay, F-Dot and Afro get 2. It's 4v2.
Also lost Abe, so it feels
Notorious
like
with the
really
advantage.
costing
Notorious
5FEAR.
up 2-1.
Fighting from a disadvantage.
FEAR might have ran out of gas in the tank. We'll see. Hixie gets 1. Afro trades it out. Fire up to Fire. Yeah, it can happen.
Don't go your way. Not only
It's
that,
3-1,
you just
Notorious.
don't hold top halls whatsoever. The fact that you let 2 Notorious players into open and find both of those kills
They're
untraded,
literally nestling them.
AB
I
that needs
mean,
to
it
play his
just
life in that position,
shows
or
FEAR's a
you
really
need to
good
have
hard
somebody
point team. They got to work on the
there to
control just a
assist
tad,
for
but
the damage,
I
lay
think
down
they had a
some
bad
pressure
map. I
to
think the
deny
Vault
Team
or
Notorious from
Hacienda would
making
be
these free
different.
plays so fast, but it's something that we've seen from Notorious
I'm
often.
taking this
When
headset
they
off
do
for a
reach the
minute.
stage,
It's just
it's a fast team in Search and Destroy to deal with. And for 5FEAR, it's a team that we considerably note that their mistakes come from giving up kills for free, and that hasn't changed so far in this map 5.
Abe looking to see if he can maybe make some noise through the left side again, working inside of Dark, and Stun's not going to find any connection. And it feels like the same way for Team Notorious, finally slowing down at the beginning of the round as they go for the fast A plan.
It's going to be a fast hit, though, through you to try to trade this one. Exceed gets 1, but that's it. So 3v3 on the retake, and
3v3.
you only have a post plant towards well.
Exceed, oh, does he get reach out? Yes, he does. Afro able to find himself 1. Is he ready for the second? He's not. So you do get a trade kill. 2v2, bomb check is good. That's going to be at least good info for Abe. How does he play
Abe
this?
up here
Challenge
got
comes to
1.
him, and now he turns it into
I
a
think he's
1v1.
got this
15
round.
seconds on the clock. How do you play this here if you're F-Dot? You have to challenge.
No, that was such a bad
The patience
chow.
will pay
What were
off.
you
That's
doing,
rough.
Abe?
Hey, you're sitting
And they go up
towards the
4-1,
inner
man.
fences. A 2v1 scenario, Abe is so far away. He has to help Hixie down towards Secret, but without that assistance on the site itself, you give such a good spacing for Team Notorious to easily retake that site.
Like, I wonder if the grand finals can't go obviously go on, but they literally were watching 2 more matches.
Because you knew that you had the unknown of, is he on the bomb? Is he holding me? Well, for F-Dot, he plays it so good. 6-2, 3 in a row. Afro 7-3 as well. Both of them working in tandem.
There's the bracket.
These rounds. You need more out of Fire, Exceed, and Hixie because it's
Oh, whoever loses this series drops down to play
100%.
whoever Gorilla Mates. I think Gorilla Mates, they're playing Omit Brooklyn right now. I don't know who's up.
And it will be a fast plant. F-Dot, again, able to grab himself a couple kills. 6 in a row. F-Dot grabs himself just about everyone, looking for what could be a potential
This
ace.
is over, man. They're 5-1 unless FEAR is something crazy. They've been clutch all weekend, but I think this is over. I think FEAR's tank is tapped out, and I think their search isn't strong enough. I mean, this is Abe is the only one shooting back. 7-6, 2-6, 2-5, 1-4. He's got his team skills combined.
F-Dot does get the ace. What a snapper. And what a huge
an ace
play
from, I
coming
don't know
through
who
for
that
one of
name
your
was, F-Dot, just got
TARs.
an ace.
My goodness, Team Notorious now on series point.
See, I pay
They're
attention.
too good at Search and Destroy. They are too good at this game mode. F-Dot, what a round. I mean, it's the ace, but it's the fact that it's the 3 kills in succession that you get there. They basically just line up for you. That is the gross part. 5FEARs, how do you climb back from this one? First Bloods heavily.
It really makes our next strong, guys. I'm gonna take a break because that's the only reason I was watching Pro Team play. But
every category under the sun right now.
It's tough when just everything you're doing is being shut down.
this
You're
is
not winning
just
opening engagements.
excruciating. Every game has been going Game 5 and these challengers type tournaments.
There is a trade. Exceed does manage to tie us up. And then Eric responds. So
what are we at so far? We're at like 2 hours plus. No, I started at we're about at the 2 hour mark.
No, Eric's close. Does he go
1
for the
hour and 50
chow?
minutes.
Oh, he does, but he still loses the battle, and it just crumbles once again here. Team Notorious, they get it done. They are going to find the victory in the upper final, and they advance to Grands.
That's a little bit of an anticlimactic finish to that game. I was not expecting at all, but that's a tough map from the whole team in general. Abe had a couple of good moments, but countless 1v
And there you have it. Team Notorious advanced to the grand finals. Fears gets knocked down to play the winner of Gorilla Mates.
And all that work
Yeah,
boot camp
and
that they had leading into this.
they
Obviously,
omit
it's been
Brooklyn, I believe, who
reinforcing
they were
that
playing.
game mode, but it's also been improving the respawns
Right.
as well, and the whole package. So going into the grand finals now for the AMD Overclock tournament, there's no better team right now to be there than this Team Notorious squad. They have earned it, rightfully so.
They have. They've went through a very, very tough bracket, looking solid while doing it. And like you had said, I mean, their S&D is looking fantastic, Colin. So excited to see this team in the grand finals, but they get to chill out a little bit. They get to go and take her easy, watch over some COD, figure out who they're going to be playing up against, because now there's a whole lot of action that has to take place down in the lower bracket here too. But first, we'll take a look at everything that did take place throughout that S&D. And really, the first blood tallies, it felt like, I mean, it was really one-sided, right? Or even if you did see a first blood come through, 4 or 5 fears, it was just immediately answered with a trade. So a really tough one. I mean, you can credit a lot of things to Team Notorious there, but a huge one was certainly FDOT going 11-2, putting up some big numbers.
FDOT going
That
11-2.
In round 6, it kind of felt like the nail in the coffin for that entire round. The first blood comes so fast, you get the second one, third one right around the corner, and then you win a gunfight you probably should not have won versus Exceed down in you.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of that where you had moments for 5 fears when you have, you know, Abe in good positions, but you're losing out on that first blood. It puts him on an island, and he's kind of feeling the pressure to make that hero play. And every single time that hero play was really putting him in a situation where, okay, you got to find a double kill now. And, you know, you can't really bank on that if you're anybody going into a series like this. So you have to look back at this one, start valuing your life a little bit more off these opening engagements. And I know it's easier said than done, but you also have to start winning these battles.
It's going to be required here, and going to need a lot to take down a Team Notorious that's looking just so crisp and clean in that grand final. And you take a look back on all the moments that happened here. There were a lot of great ones, man. There's a lot of great maps that ended up happening. Maybe the S&Ds were a little bit one-sided at times, and the control, I guess, but the hard points were absolute bangers. And that's something at least 5 fears have been able to rely on, it feels like, throughout this weekend, too.
That's a confident Neslo that we saw right here from Team Notorious. The hard points are getting better. And that's one thing I think we can put a lot of stock into for this Team Notorious squad. They've already said that they want their hard points to be better, that's what they're really focused on these next couple of days to improve on. And we saw it on the rewinds that, you know, you're playing the fundamentals of the rotations, getting into moments where you can have those hill setups a little bit better. It's just the general mixiness that you do get from the hard points themselves that it still seems like you're losing some of those key engagements within the objective, and you know, you're finding so much value around it, you know, outside of the hills, that you got to start putting some focus in towards those hard points. You see it towards the end there. I mean, they do such a good job just honing in on those last 2 hills, but with the lead that 5 fears had, it was just too much of a comeback to really accomplish towards the end there. Teammates also stopping you in that moment, but if you're looking at this in general, you can feel so confident in your 2-3-5s. And Notorious, it doesn't matter what map I've seen them on for Search and Destroy, they look good.
They do. And that's scary when you go into, you know, what is going to be obviously the rest of this tournament, but as well as champs. If you can go in the champs having just almost every single map in your map pool is something that you can trust at times.
Okay, we got
crazy,
the bracket
but,
here.
Yeah, I'm looking at the same thing you're looking at down there, brother.
Fears
and that's the lower bracket LAG mates.
and Mates. Brooklyn is up 2-1 over Mates. Can we
Yeah,
go to that
and,
match?
You know, it looks like these teams getting into map 4 very, very soon for both of them. Gonna wait to see if we can maybe jump in with that.
So we gotta
one
wait
as well,
anyways.
Austin, to hit the tail end
I
of
might.
that
We're at an
series.
hour. I might kill the
We
stream and come
haven't
back when that
seen
match comes
LAG
back on,
mates
because I'm not gonna
actually
sit here
just
for an
yet.
hour and
We've
just do
seen
nothing.
a good amount of Omit Brooklyn. That team, they do look good. And like we said, I mean, you got 4 players on that roster for Omit Brooklyn who have been up to the CDL, found their way back. We got Open champions, we got CDL major champions as well on that Omit Brooklyn team. So it's no surprise to me that they're actually playing this LAG Mates team close. But we both expected these CDL teams to just pack a little bit more punch.
I would agree. I think most certainly, and we'll see if they can still, bounce back here going into that map 4.
Yeah, the
That's
CL
going to be the big
teams, they
question.
should have
But I
had
think
Optic
it's
or something
definitely left us
playing
with
in,
some
so there's
question marks
actually a
on whether or
good
not they're
team
going to
in
be
it.
able to
But
get
another
that
stream.
job done. So we do have confirmation. We are jumping into that series about midway through. We will get to catch that map 4.
Oh,
Potential
okay.
map 5 of LAG are going to be able to take it on the back side
Let's
of
get
the
it.
break. So
Let's
guys,
go, Gorilla
don't
mates.
go far. LAG coming up next.
French
right after the break.
phenom. Lynn's ain't even there though. Lynn's ain't even out. The drop Lynn's. He ain't out. We'll be back. They're 2-1. They're gonna piss again.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the AMD Overclock 10K tournament. And we got some good news. We are jumping into that LAG Mates and Omic Brooklyn series here just about halfway through. So it's going to be a great time to see exactly if our second CDL team is either going to be knocked out or if Omic Brooklyn is going to start to make the run through the lower bracket.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about these CDL teams and trying to see, for better or for worse, if they can, compete against these challenger squads, and these challenger squads have thrown a lot of spanners into the mix on kind of what to anticipate going into this champs. I mean,
sure.
We could talk about maybe a lack of reps from DreamHack going into a time like this for these CDL teams, as it is going to be a break between them and PWC, but for these challenger teams, they're not going to skip up on an opportunity to take them down, and they've been doing a great job just staying ahead, making sure that they're not letting up, and there's full confidence going into these matches as well, as they know kind of what's on the line for playing games like this.
Yeah, they do. They do. They know they'll get ridiculed if they don't come up big in some of these games. So let's take a look at the replay package. We do have some replays prepped for you guys throughout the first few maps that we did have. Now, of course, just the names at the top will be flipped here for us, but it was really interesting, I think, coming into what we expected, which has been LAG Mates haven't been great at the hard points. They've really relied on the 2-3-5 in a lot of their series. Omic Brooklyn, on the other hand, I feel like they've actually been pretty solid through the majority of their game modes, which I think makes this matchup really interesting.
And so you wanted the searches and the control to look good for your team, but I think for LAG Mates, it's going to put some pressure towards what happens in this map 4, even looking towards this map 1 red card that you played just for this team in general. And I think for, you know, Omit Brooklyn, you look at the performance that you've been getting between Yuli and Standy as a stub duo on this team. I mean, obviously they are going to be big difference makers, but just for Prolute and Brack and, you know, for a red card, like that just fits them so well.
Yeah, it does. It does. Absolutely, I agree. And now we'll take a look at the second one, as the first hard point was, of course, secured. And again, I think that's what we expect when it comes down to the hard points. Like, LEG mates just have not looked good when it comes to that game mode. So it has been tough overall, but we will see what happens kind of going into this the search and destroy, because this is where you do expect them to be a little bit better. But Omit Brooklyn, man, again, this whole team screams SND players.
And this is, I mean, an LAG made squad that, you know, dealership was their bread and butter, even through DreamHack. So this is something that you want to look good. Johnny is final on this map, and Lunars in general has been a good standout for this team when it comes down to this mode. So the fact that, you know, Omit Brooklyn coming out here, playing to your best and really making it look good. I mean, Yuli's had some fantastic moments through these highlights.
Yeah, Yuli, especially coming off that performance when you saw him on Team War just a few events ago, felt like he was really putting in some good numbers at times, and someone you can always rely on. So this went to a round 11 right here. Kismet in a 1v2 now, trying to complete the 1v3, and he gets taken up by Prolute, so they lose the S&D. So okay, they go down 2-0, Colin, and now they're actually trying to pull off the reverse sweep. That's actually crazy. This is not how I expected this series count to kind of go.
So you win the control, obviously going into this next one, you kind of go into the hard point then thinking that if you can kind of feel it. Actually, I think that we just got confirmation that this it was 1-1, so like that's a tie. So it was LAG mates that win the first one. The names were backwards.
Yeah, the names are backwards.
So then you go into the second one, you lose the mode that you have been playing very well. It goes to around 11, so you're going to be feeling still confident in that. Easy to shake off, you know, a round 11 game, knowing that that could have been you. You go into this game number 3 for LAG mates, and control's been good for sure, but it's definitely something that I'd say is losable against a team like Omit Brooklyn.
I would agree.
This weekend, just in general, for control.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the control replay now and see how this one kind of panned out here for us. But again, I agree with you. I think you give credit here to an Omit that could potentially steal this one away, right, and get the job done, be really solid in control. We've seen that throughout the weekend, and again, things are flipped at the top. So LAG mates, of course, on the left, Omit Brooklyn here on the right.
I don't expect this one to be just one-sided when it does come down to it. Both maps have been very, very close for these teams. I mean, Johnny, 32 and 28 right now for this squad. Yuli going band for band with him, 36 and 24. So all the way to around 5. You're on the attack. If you're LAG mates, or sorry, if you're Omit Brooklyn, so trying to get over towards these zones. They steal an offensive round when it comes down to the lives. They get beat first, come back, they break you apart. That is heartbreaking for LAG mates at the end of this game, to beat down 2-1.
Man.
Going into a rewind hardpoint, when you look at both the dealership and the protocol, we're literally just a couple kills away.
Yeah, a couple kills away.
What are we doing
there?
here?
It's the rewind hard point. That's the map number 4. So Omit Brooklyn, they have a huge opportunity to put it away right here. Send LAG mates packing from the tournament. If you can go up, go big, and go clutch. We'll see if they can try to get it done. LAG, though, they have a chance to still extend this to a map 5.
Yeah, so off the break off, feeling good.
All right, let's watch this.
Your LAG mates, so off the initial time, you have the better spawns. You're looking to win these fights, and you're looking to get some good headway to mount this comeback.
Yuli looking to take a route, thinking about some early progress at B2. Kismet says we'll have none of that, but Sandy does follow up to play, so
I ain't having none of it. So
maybe get one through. However, it's not worked out thus far.
Gorilla Mate's gonna start off strong with
a decent amount of time off of P1.
25.
Johnny's been able to build himself up
35
to a 5.
points.
Not even dying yet, so maybe even an early chance at streaks.
Yeah, I mean, good for them. I'd love to see a game 5 out of them.
Brooklyn
I want
Scoreless.
them to stay in the tournament. I want
Into
them to,
the
to
second
watch
spot
the
in the
tournament,
back
but they're just
from Standy.
if
That's
it's
gonna
not
pull things
competitive
your
and we
way.
got
You lose
even
out on
with
these
the pro
battles still.
teams.
So LA Mates, if they read this right, they can lock this down.
Oh, Johnny, he is just untouchable right now. He has just completely awakened. 8-0, Shirley has the streak now in his pocket, so that is going to be fantastic. Almost gets a turn and a snap
He does
for
have the streak.
another one, so that is something to certainly keep your eye on going into some of these future hills. Lunar just going to patiently tuck himself away in the corner. Gets a good read on the second, but won't be able to come up
My
with
guy
the kill.
Prolu
LAG mates
was
still
probably the
gonna
coolest
have
guy I
themselves
met
a
at
decent
the
lead, but
event.
Moment Brooklyn
It's
still
just-
looking to try to be scrappy here for the remaining 20
He's really
seconds.
nice.
They're going to invest the Hellstorm right away as well, so that's just salt in the wound for the initial. Some good time for LAG. You get a flip of the spawns for a couple of these players. Omit, they need to start worrying about New, and his kill onto Johnny is going to be so important for Standy to win. You get it, you have an early setup towards this hill, but it has to translate into time now.
It does. Need some critical time here if you're Omit Brooklyn. Work yourself back into the game. Lunars might be looking to take a route, or at the very least, just trying to finesse through mid. Control in the restaurant, looking solid so far for Standy, but he can't come up with a second. Johnny now answering back. Lunar's getting involved in the play. He's starting to heat up 3 in a row as they start looking towards the player in time.
Just a quick break. Keep this one at least white for now. Kismet's going to try to find a way through, see if the timing can fit. The finesse, back around, plays his life. And slides out. Prolude's going to win this one, so that's going to solidify these back spawns for at least these back 20 seconds. Keeps you in good standing.
They're up
and
by 50.
break in.
Standy's watching close.
Standy
He'll be
gets
able to find
one.
himself a nice pickup.
He's
10
using
seconds
a
up for
sub,
grabs.
ironically. I
Spawns
always
looking
picture him like a
solid
sub. He
here
reminds
so
me of
far.
Clayster. Not
For some of the
only
players
good
on Omen
gameplay
Brooklyn,
visually, but I
just
guess
trying
he's
to
using
hold
a
this side of
sub.
the map. A lot of
There were
work to be
some
done for
plays
LAG
used to
mates,
sub, I
and
think, as well.
Johnny
Clay
shuts
kinda
out
did
as
it
well.
all.
Yuli with some crispy shots. Kismet does
Shout out
eventually get
Clay.
the trade, but now he has to start flying forward here, playing for the spawns or waiting for his teammates.
Yeah, you want to work this aggression. Spawn back for Standy. So good moment for Omit Brooklyn. Late G-Mate's going to have to break this one from the front. All 3 members there.
What can you do? A lot of tags early. Nade's going to come out, tax everything you have. We'll see if Felony can try to get himself anything, but no. Fellow shut down. Another
my hair
big
is
double
so
up
fucked
happens
up
from
with
the front.
this.
This is a map where LAG mates, we saw them play Team War in their Game 5.
God,
run
I gotta
yesterday.
put more
They
gel in
lost
my
it
hair.
by 8 points. So getting the run back for this map mode combo against the red-hot Omit Brooklyn squad. This is something that I'm sure LAG mates want their revenge on.
Great help there from Yuli, one of his teammates trapped in the corner. He's there for the assistant. P5 just about to pop.
Oh
here,
my
so
lord,
the
I just dropped my
rotation
fuck out of
battles,
my
of course,
phone.
taking
Hold on.
place. Standy, we'll see if he's going to be able to get anything. Watch the team nade. I think he might have tagged his teammate, so now goes in for the challenge. And Johnny, no problem for him. He finds the first pickup. LAG mates, they get
I'm
themselves
dumping
into the
that
time
water.
first.
I'm jumping at least the top of it.
With sub out, instant break back for Omit Brooklyn. They got 3 players here and a 4th to pick up the flank as well. Big fight in the back. Lunars wins it, so the collapse now for LAG. Johnny's on 4 in a row. He's going to look to get this back time. 30 seconds that you're fighting for.
All right, Johnny. Oh, that's another spree. A chance for some more streaks, potentially. Goes for the chow, but finally taken out. Lunars, however, with a beautiful follow-up. He finds himself a big double. That's going to allow them to get some more time.
And that's 20 seconds that is going to take you back into the lead here after you have a start from Johnny where he goes 8-0, gets that Hellstorm. You invest it right away towards P2, so you want to lead going into the second set of rotations. When you invest so much and you have such a good start, it's such a close game for somebody who's 20-8, and you look at the rest of the squad just falling behind, and Omit Brooklyn, I mean, they're not too far away, couple good hills, and they can flip things back into their side.
Yuli, great job here through P1. Finds himself a few kills. And Prolu gonna try to get himself over to the restaurant, play the power position, but will not be allowed to do so. LNG mates now finally with a clean kill feed, looking to break themselves right into P1. Brack left up for grabs, but unfortunately will line up one of the teammates as Johnny's shooting anything that moves.
Yeah, nobody is safe when Johnny is frying. LAG looking to hold this lead. One more hit from Omit Brooklyn. It looks like Yuli will take a look at it. For the moment, they're going to just take them out of this hill, but so much focus on trying to deny anybody from slipping through the gaps here for Omit.
Yuli just looking to play his life again, thinking about what's going to happen at P2. Right now, the rotation looking at least decent here for Omit, and that's something that we haven't really seen LG mates be on top of in the last.
They're still up by
couple
10.
hills.
They're hanging on there, but
Also
they've
just
got
in
to
the perfect
turn
position
up.
to play flank, but it is going to be picked up by Kismet.
And they lost the
What a
control, so
save
I'm
that is to
thinking
give
they
them a
won the
huge chance to
surge. It's
potentially play
just-
for a flip in the back.
But back, big
Teams
win
are just
for
so good at respawn. I remember
Standing.
Challengers used to be all
2
S&D
for 2
kids, and they
trades,
just had
still
to
threatening
fight
these
to
back
steal a
spawns, but everybody's going
respawn.
to spawn here for Omid. All 4 players going to be here to
They
defend.
were always
Two collapsing from the
alone.
back, 2 collapsing from the front. Just need to find the kills. Fellow is going to be red. Johnny, what could he do? Well, it's just about everything, it feels like. Almost 3 kills lined up for him
Okay,
alongside
they tied it up.
Lunars, but he's going to be taken out as Prolude's on the flank.
Oh, never
And
mind.
that will allow Omid
Prelude
Brooklyn
gets a
to
big
maybe lock in
two-piece.
the remaining 20.
Yeah, here's a
Yuli
swing
gets
for
one,
Omid,
Prolude gets
where
another. That's
you
4
can
down.
start to
2 off
garner
respawn,
a
they're
lead
gonna be
going into
close.
these third hills.
And
Tucked
Standy gets
away is
another.
Lunars on this rotation. He's going to be spotted
Oh,
by Yuli.
Luna
Still
steals
wins
the
the
kill.
fight.
Johnny gets
Should
one.
shake up the attention for a second, but everybody's going to spawn back in. Kismet gets found out, and Omid off of a lead change on P2. They are getting the initial now in P3.
Omid Brooklyn feels like they're starting to really grab a hold of this game, and LG mates are just falling behind in the pacing, not keeping up with the tempo. Something's going to have to change, and it might be at this hill, but Standy just so unstoppable inside. The restaurant comes back to help on the hill, and that's going to put him on 4 in a row. Great work being done by Standy. They're going to go for another double challenge to see if they can finally deal with them, and well, they will. But it is 5 kills that ends up coming through. It has just been complete dominance here for Omid Brooklyn at the start of this hill, and now it's another
Brooklyn's
5-3 this
knocked
time
them
for
out.
Prolude.
If they get this
Got the
23,
Hellstorm,
it's
so
over. And
on
they've
his
got
way
the
to doubling
Hellstorm.
up
Oh,
these
it's over.
streaks. 200 points now for Omid Brooklyn, looking to put this one away in game 4. Now a 50-point lead, and it's bolstering. Prolude finds his 7th in a row. And you have a fight for Lunars that he has to win now versus Yuli.
All right, he does give them at least a chance, but look at how far his teammates are. They are so far. The new hill isn't active, so only 1 player going to spawn up with Lunars here. There is a lot to be done. You at least have some pressure that could cut through mid, but you called it.
They're all
Streak could be
doing
the
well.
play.
2
Yuli gonna come
minutes
through the middle,
in 18
able to
and
find
16
himself
out
a kill.
of
The
Prolude.
call-out
That's
should be
really
in.
the
Now it's just
difference
about
maker right
finding the
now.
eliminations.
But it
Tucked
gets 3.
inside.
I think it was 7% pro team challengers team that you've never seen a pro team just run at them like that.
Johnny's gonna win it.
So they're gonna.
And now
That's
he's
why
over
they're
towards
hanging on.
P3,
This is their
so
fundamentals are so
Good
much
spot
better.
to be in to relay information.
But I think
this is gonna be a
they've
flank
got
on the
them.
rest of your team.
Johnny has just been unbelievable this map. He's doing everything to fight and try to extend this to at least 1 more. Get to that second S&D is what Johnny is screaming inside. Fellow gonna eat the card, and he's still alive, still somehow
they
able to win that on
definitely
7
went
HP.
for
Clean shots onto Standy, deals with the back, and that is enough to give LAG mates a chance. They soak up the majority of that time, so now it's all about transitioning back into P5.
Well, that's a full
Job's not
60
done.
they get there, and that puts them
Johnny's
within
still
2
here.
points.
He's gonna be spotted.
Essentially, we have a
Omid
tie
Brooklyn,
game.
Lunars
Lunars
looking
gets
to
another
at least
Okay.
send them
the 3
scattered,
dead.
and that double kill, get a triple with Kismet.
Then a lead change comes
LAG
in.
back into it and back into a lead as well. They are right here still fighting for this game 5.
They absolutely are. Lunars 2 in a row. Can't build that streak up any further. Johnny, though, he is just continuing to build the kills. 34 kills for him, but it's enough for a break. Omid Brooklyn bully themselves in. Yuli looking for a double chow, but has to back up. Wants to try to play his life and finesse just a tad bit as he shoots over the top. But this is a moment where you get to actually pressure out. You can see just how much space Omid Brooklyn are taking away.
Neither team can win off of this hill.
Okay,
but
224,
the time that
225.
LAG wants to fight for Johnny.
They need to
trying
break it here.
will his team to a game
Hold
5
on, guys,
right
I
now.
gotta
He
mute my-
needs somebody to help. Somebody's got to save him from this moment. 15 seconds is all Omid Brooklyn need to this P1 hill. It has to be flawless.
And it's hard to be perfect on P1. Yuli, patience from the back, able to find himself 1. Can he reach out and go for the second? Standy just about side by side with him, but it's fairly clean here for LAG mates. They're able to find 3, make it 4 with the help of Fellow, and they are still holding on.
Everybody spawning out. Early kill towards Kismet and Johnny. 2v4 for the hill time. Felony goes down, and it's only 5 seconds. This is done.
This is looking like it's going to be it. Omid Brooklyn,
Oh,
the
yep.
final
Omid win.
seconds,
Guys,
the
I'm
final
calling
nail
stream
in the
there. I might
coffin.
tune
They
back in for
send
the finals, but
last CDL
but
team packing and out of the tournament.
well, our
Challenger
pro
teams,
teams didn't even
you do
place
not
in,
wanna
didn't
doubt
make the
them.
finals. That's
You don't want to
ridiculous.
put them down
That's ridiculous.
whatsoever. Because
Have a
when
wonderful
you
night,
least
guys. I
expect it,
might be
you're
back.
gonna find
I
yourself
definitely
on
will be
3-1
streaming
hard
COD later
points
tonight
and
around
struggling to
10,
close
11,
out these
midnight-ish. So
apps.
I'm gonna go work out. So you guys have a
What
wonderful
game
night.
from Johnny.